Hello, my name is Andrew Payton. This is for History 5 and it's Module 9. In my first video, I described the Dutch and what stood out to me in the video and the podcast, but then I didn't realize there was a source question, so I'm going to answer that right now. Some sources, especially for the Dutch that were discovered, were administrative ones, like court records. They had these things called council minutes where they were pretty much like like a meeting council, and they ended up taking notes from that. So some of those records were left for modern times so we could read. There's actually interesting to me is a correspondence between the Dutch East India Company and the travelers, because people on the ships sometimes wrote their own story, or they wrote a lot of letters, especially to the Dutch East and West India Company, because it was a pretty much a corporation, and there was a lot of letters back and forth and I'm sure there's probate records because of like how many items are here, what happened to this, if there was a shipwreck. So there was also colonial official kept records. There was a fort called Orange where a lot of the art, like the military and the colonial officials, kept records of people, their slaves, their material items, what's coming in and out of the facility. There was account books, ship journals, like I said, merchant correspondence, and actually Harry Hudson himself wrote a report about his discovery, which I believe is still around in the databases online. So those are some of the sources. How would sources shape the story? Sources are told by the people writing them, and I believe everyone has their own biases, but I feel like there's always some truth in sources. So I believe sources are helpful as long as someone has critical thinking skills and they're able to evaluate who's the author, what intention did they have for writing it. So I think it's important to kind of question why, not why, but like what is in the record. Even Marco Polo's book, there is some truth, but there's also a lot of bias, and you could tell there's a lot of hatred towards certain people. So it's good to have that kind of keen eye. What are the reasons for showing and not showing sources? Some people don't want to show sources because the truth hurts, and history has been very violent and bloody, and I don't think that some countries especially would want some records out there that were pretty brutal. The Spaniards and English were very harsh to the native population. But reasons for showing it is it could be ego. It could be a way to be like, I want to be remembered in history. But it also could be a way to express oneself and kind of talk about someone's experiences. So I think that's it. Thank you.